Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. Windy, and torrential rain last night here back east where I am, Cape Cod, about an hour south of Boston. Man, listen, I have been through a lot of hurricanes. I've been around a lot of big storms, and last night was just amazing. 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. The wind just 70-mile-an-hour gusts and the torrential rains, and brutal out there. It's calmed down, no rain at least. The wind's still around, but crazy night. As for myself, I talk a lot about in these lanes, some days you're the dog, some days you're the fire hydrant. And yesterday was one of those days we were the fire hydrant. ECSI VIPs 0-3. That's right, I said it 0-3. It does happen. And it's funny because how the night started is kind of sort of how it finished. That's the way I felt. We had the Rays minus the half run in the first five. And why instead of the money line? Listen, you start dancing with the devil in that minus 145, minus 150 range, and you get two or three of those, and you go 1 and 2. And you lose a half unit here, half unit there, and they start to add up. Very, very confident in what I thought we would get from McClanahan, and it was perfect. The guy was absolutely lights out. An error, then a homer. And he gives up 2 runs. Obviously, one of them earned there. And the Rays scrapped together 2 runs to tie. And then in the fifth, Hendricks has pulled. I got first and third, 1 out with Randy Arozarena up. And I just need a long fly ball. Just don't hit into a double play. Just get that run home, please. And first pitch swings, double play. Thanks for playing. And a real kick in the you-know-what to start the night. And then Cincinnati, plus a half run, first 5, plus $100. Mr. Pham hits a homer. Thank you. 1-0 Reds. Well, I think I went to the bathroom, grabbed a seltzer water, come back, and Machado said, not so fast. 2-1 Padres. 3-1. Thanks for playing. 7 LOBs, first 5 innings for the Reds. They left the bases loaded in the second or third inning there. So now we go to the third game, and the one me and Scotty really liked. I got a Braves plus a half, first 5, plus 113. And Kershaw was Kershaw in the first inning. And then in comes Freddie Freeman, his first game against his former team. First pitch, home run. Thanks for playing. 3-1 after 5. And Kershaw was Kershaw. And got a leadoff double one of those innings. No one can even move him after that. And the Dodgers roll. So, full transparency, 0-3. Shit happens. Big board today. The NBA. Just go to the window. I told you. Bet the first half favorite, bet the full game favorite, and just wait till the window till the game's over. Because other than the Mavericks coming back against Utah, they're just cashing tickets. Just cashing tickets. And it's kind of disgusting for people like myself in these lanes. But it is what it is, and it will come back to bite them in the ass. So without further ado, hopefully the weather's a little better down in Tampa. The one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Jeff. And, I'm just going to preface this by saying it this way. I played some games yesterday that they're good betting angles. And, just because they're good betting angles, that doesn't mean they're going to win. And, we had value in plays. And you say this all the time, and the truth of the matter is, when you need to be making lots of value bets in Major League Baseball, but I played that Atlanta game plus the 1.5 for the full game, and they didn't do anything till late in the game. They got back in the game 6-4, bases are loaded. one hit and shit, I'm in good spot. No, they didn't get to hit, but they got back to 6-4, and then of course they get it to 6-4, and then the damn Dodgers score one more, make it 7-4. So it is what it is. It doesn't mean it was a bad look, and it doesn't mean that it was a bad angle to play. So that's number one. Number two, that guy, the game that I was on that didn't do well for me, and I thought it was going to be a big good stealer. It fizzled, and it fizzled right at the beginning, and that leads to a different question, which I'll explain in a second. But I played the Angels against the Astros yesterday, and I played them in the first 5 innings. I didn't want to mess with the Angels bullpen. The Angels bullpen is awful, and it showed itself last night. They got bombed at the end. But I will say this: that doesn't mean it was the wrong play. So there's two things. I shouldn't say it that way. Let's say it this way: the angle that was played is correct play. The result isn't always the correct result based on the angle that you played, and that's going to happen a lot. It's not going to happen all the time, but it's going to happen a lot. So that doesn't steer you away from making that same decision to do those things again today. Now, having said that, I will say this: you hear guys like me say that shit all the time, that it wasn't the right play. Okay, let's just put it out there. If you didn't win, it's not good. So no matter what angle you played or whatever decision or choice you made, the truth of the matter is you lost. Okay, well that doesn't mean that it should impact your future wagering style, and it doesn't mean that you should have to go reconsider how you came up with that play, because ultimately those were good choices that were made based on the information that was presented to you. Now, I will say this: that play fizzled for me real early in 2 ways. One, I made the play before I knew who was in the lineup. Now, I knew Trout wasn't going to play, and that didn't bother me because Trout hadn't had that much experience against Garcia anyway, and most of the other guys that were in the lineup had faced him so many times and had reasonable success. So I wasn't worried about that part. But 2 other things happened in that game, lineup-wise, that I was not prepared for. One, there was a late scratch for Rendon, and I don't want to play the Angels games when I'm on the Angels when both Trout and Rendon are not in the damn lineup. That's number one. That pissed me off. Number 2. It did surprise me that Yordan Alvarez was now back in the lineup off his COVID leave or whatever, the sickness or whatever he had problem was. And of course, that burned me right away because in the first inning, pop, there it goes, 2-run home run. So I'm like, oh shit, we're going to lose this game right away. But that didn't happen that way. The Angels came right back, scored 2. And it was 2-2 in the 4th inning, and then we do the shit that happens in Major League Baseball stuff. We got the bases loaded, and we walk in a run. Okay, now it's 3-2. All right, well we can still get one more here and get back to our plus half run that we were looking at. Well, the next batter, they hit it. So they walk a guy in, and then they hit the next guy, and they hit him in, and then nobody scores after that. So I lose the game on a walk and a hit by pitch. Just frustrating and pisses you off, but that's the way baseball goes. And if you're not prepared for those kinds of things, don't watch the games. Just bet on them. Just don't watch them. And then because you're going to be a little bit more sane afterwards and probably feel a bit better about yourself, because baseball is so goofy with some of this stuff.
I talk about the spot that we're all in right now. It's we have 11 days left in April. So next weekend is the NFL draft. We already have the NBA playoffs. Next week we'll start the NHL playoffs. So the first Saturday in May is the Kentucky Derby. In between, we'll have some more horse races. We'll have some U.S. Open, the British Open. And where I'm going with this is we have baseball every day. Okay. So then you got your NHL Stanley Cup finals and the cup winner. Then you have your NBA finals finally in June, the first week of June. And then everyone's standing there like, now what? Well, we still have baseball. And baseball is the one sport that is every day. It doesn't mean you have to play every day. But me, myself, Scott, we're grinding every day. So my point is, I always talk about we get to the All-Star break and then everyone waves that white flag. And I can't say this enough times. Yes, there's 6 weeks until football starts. But the mentality of, hey, I'm going to take a break because I am going to kill these guys come football season. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Not that we're not going to be doing the work. Not that we're not going to be playing college and NFL football, but there's no sharper time of the year. They're sharp every day. We do know that. But the fact of the matter is, football is not the sport that you're going to get rich at. There are so many hidden spots in baseball. It's just mind-boggling. But the fact that people don't like it because it's 3-4 hours long, they don't like the sport. It's too slow or whatever the matter is. Guys got to really change that mentality, and some do, some don't. But like we wake up today, and because we had a plus 100, we had a plus 113, and a minus 110. We're down 3.1 units. That doesn't mean I'm going to go play 1.5 units on 5 games today so we can get even and get ahead. No. We're just going to keep grinding every day, and that's what we do here. So anyone that played the money line on the Rays yesterday, first 5, got a push, but I didn't. And the VIPs, if they played that run line, didn't as well. I go there right side, wrong result. I mean, McClanahan was everything that we thought he would be, and then some. But an error, then a homer, and we lose. So it's a new day. It's a new day. There's a big bright board in front of us, and we're going to get back up, and we're going to break down the board. Scott's going to look at the board. He's going to tell you where his eyes are right now. I'm going to tell you where my eyes are right now, and then we're going to come back at 4:30 with a closing bell and do what we do. So anyone that woke up this morning pissing and moaning, yelling and screaming, kicking the you-know-what, shame on you. It happens. I didn't see no duck boats and parades when we went 3-0 the other day. I didn't get out there and celebrate. 3-0, 0-3. You got to stay even keel. Stay off that roller coaster. Buckle up.
I will say this: when you go 3-0 or 4-0 in a day, or even 2-0 in a day, you need to have small celebrations, not big ones, because this is a humbling endeavor that we do, and there's the law of averages that happen a lot. I use it, that data point in statistics a ton. If you're off to a 10-1 start, you're going to go 1-10, or you're going to go, whatever 2-8. I mean, it's going to happen. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean, you can still see the board the way you want. You can still do whatever you want, but shit, it's the way it is. Nobody's 10-1 every day, all the time, every week. It doesn't work like that. So I will say it the best way that I can. This is a game of two things. If you want to make money at this game that we're calling wagering on sports, you need to have your money make money. So if you want to make money, you got to put the money out there. So your risk aversion needs to be small. Now, I will say it this way: if you don't have the money to be playing and you're playing small amounts of money, that's okay too. Only understand you're not going to win big money. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win big money following me, because I'm not going to sit here and give you parlays and 10 leg things and all that stuff. That's not going to work. I don't do that. So my job is to do one thing. My job is to put us on the side in which more guys get on base, more guys get base hits, and we have more opportunities to score than the other team does. So if I don't do that, then I didn't do my job very well. And in some cases, teams lose even though that they have more hits than the other team does. They get more guys on base than the other team does. And that's just the way baseball goes. So my job is just to put us in the right position to win, and then let things happen. And that's what I try to do. So put your money out there, put your opinions out there, bet on your own opinions, learn how to do this stuff. I will tell you, I just put a bunch of good stuff in the Discord channel this morning. There's first 5 results in there, team total results in there, all that stuff that you're not going to get just by not being a part. So when I tell you to participate, that's what that means. That means get involved, get to where you can get your information. I like the idea that this Discord channel is providing a lot of things in one spot. We got clips of the shows in there. We got clips from all the shows in there. We got data points in there that you're not getting everywhere else. So learn to find all your information in one spot. It's a lot easier.
Couple double headers today. I'm trying to see if this will be better for people. I know you can't see it well. All right, I'll stick to where we've been doing. Just can't see this as well, but there's just so much more there. I'm going to give it one more shot here. This is the Don Best NASA spreadsheet. And again, you don't see it as well. Open up your screens at home. And here's the problem is I get so many alerts from them. But as you can see here, I get the opening lines from Pinnacle, Spot 111, SPO 111, Jazz. We're following South Point, Westgate, William Hill, Circus, Caesars, Wynn, Mirage, Golden Nugget, Stations, Heritage. I got 5 Dimes, Bovada. The list is endless here. There are 3 basketball games. There's a boatload of baseball games, 2 doubleheaders, weather permitting. I'll have the wager talk to my right, Scott, if we need to go in and take a peek anywhere. But the board is yours, my brother.
Well, again, my numbers this today and circuit numbers today anyway are extremely tight. They're really close, and I'm showing a little bit of value on some of the heavier favorites today compared to what Circus shows, but not a big variance. One of the variances that I see in some of this stuff, it's pretty small. Like my number from McGill in the Mets today is -134, and I think that number is like -116. That's a variance, but it's not very big. I mean, that's like a 2% edge on the Mets. And I like to get to the point where I'm looking at 5-6% edges there. But we're go ahead.
I want to just confirm this year in MLB, doubleheaders are not 7 innings, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
They are both 9-inning games. So I've run across a couple of scenarios where I think there's a little bit of an advantage here, but that means we're going to be playing small favorites. So I like Philadelphia today. I like Gibson today. Gibson's off to a really good start. And they're playing Colorado, and Colorado's been hitting the ball pretty well. But I think Gibson's in that spot where he can shut down that offense a little bit. And Freeland's on the mound for Colorado. Now, Freeland at one time was a really good home pitcher, but he hasn't really done that well over the last couple of seasons. I think it was 2018, 2019. It was like 10-2 at home. and this team, if you go look at their lineup and stuff, you go, who in the hell are these guys? Because the guy that that stirs the camel's back out there, you got to figure out who those guys are, and it's CJ Cron. CJ Cron, if anybody doesn't know who he is, I mean he's been around a little while, but he's a home run hitter and he's off to a pretty good start. He's got 5 home runs. Everybody talks about Vladimir Guerrero, but CJ Cron has just as many home runs as Vladimir Guerrero does. So Colorado has been doing pretty well based off of that guy's performance. And I will say this, that the Phillies aren't hitting the way that they're hitting the way I thought they would hit. Sporadic and so forth. I think Castellanos has turned out to be a lot better here than I thought he was going to be. He's just a hitter. But I like the Phillies in this spot. And Jeff, what are you seeing for the Phillies right now? Because I had it that line's been bumping around. 129 is what I actually bet it at, but when I looked at it the last, I thought it was like 139.
Opened at 130. South Point at 135. Westgate 133. William Hill 135. Circa 130.
So there you go. I would tell you that I like that spot for Philadelphia at minus 130 against Freeland in the Rockies today. And the other spot that I like is Seattle. I like Robbie Ray today against Texas. And the reason is that Robbie Ray's been really good against these guys. He's faced them quite a bit, and he's done extremely well against the Texas Ranger lineup. And John Gray is a former Colorado Rocky who's started off really well and finished last year pretty well. So it's not like he's a poor pitcher. But I like Seattle in this spot because I think Robbie Ray dominates. I think they play better at home in front of the home crowd, and I also think that that in this particular matchup, that the balls in play advantage are going to go to Seattle, and the more balls in play you get, again, obviously, the more opportunity you get guys on base. Which then creates more opportunity to score runs. So I like Robbie Ray here too, and I saw that number was coming down, and the last number I saw on that one was like 125, 128, something like that. So I'm good with Robbie Ray in Seattle against Texas. The last thing that I can't figure out how to do is I think that Milwaukee's going to win today. I don't think there's going to be any question that they lose. I think they win, and I think they dominate the game. So how do you get in? Well, the first 5 is minus 160. I'm not playing a first 5 minus a half a run at minus 160. And so then the question becomes, do you want to play the full game minus 1.5 at minus 130? Well, that's why I led to trying to figure out where these guys are on the first 5 so far. And Milwaukee is on the list of don't play offense list. So if I got to cover 2 runs, then that eliminates that play. So then I thought, okay, well, now I got to peel back the onion one more time and see if this team total thing works. Because Brubaker is not a very good pitcher for Pittsburgh. He gives up a lot of hits and he gives up a lot of runs, and he hasn't done well against Milwaukee either. So I'm like, okay, well, the team total, the last time I saw it was 4, but that was early. I think it might be 4 or 4.5. And then I looked at the number of team totals so far, how Milwaukee's done, and they've done terrible. So I can't figure out how to get into that game. So I just left it off the board. So those are the 2 plays that I'm looking at currently. I'm not playing anything that's the part of the doubleheaders or the morning stuff. I am interested in watching a couple of games. I will tell you a couple of different things. One, do you know that the New York Yankees are 1-8 or 1-9? I'd have to go back and pull up the number. It's like 1-8 and 1-9 on team totals under. They can't go over the team total number, and they play Detroit today, and I would have thought the team total number would have been a little higher for the Yankees, but the last time I saw it, it was 4. If it would get to 4.5 or 5, I might play that on just because they can't hit the ball. But that was one game that I caught an interest in. The second game that I caught an interest in is I want to see Wainwright and Luzardo pitch, because I think I put an article out today about pitchers and velocity changes and some different things to look at. I didn't do it the reverse. I just did it in drops. But Luzardo's on the list of improved. And not only has he improved, he's been dominant improved. Luzardo has been unbelievably special so far to the start of the season. And Wainwright is just 45 years old. He's not that old. But I mean, he's just a guy that's going to get hit. So right now, Miami shows up on the list of bet on offense because they've been scoring. So I kind of like the idea of there. Numbers flipped, though, so I think everybody else is going to be on Luzardo. I don't know that I want to follow that trend. So that one has scared me off just a little bit. This Toronto and Boston game is intriguing to me. This is Kikuchi against Evaldi, and I think the number's kind of high. What the numbers? Are you seeing money on Boston now up to about 150?
Well, it's kind of funny because the overnight was 145. All across the Vegas Strip now it's at 134 or 135. The Wind does have it at 140 and the Mirage at 145. But for most of the Vegas Strip, they're settling in on 135.
No, I think that's probably a more fair number. I saw 136 this morning at Circa, and then when I went back and looked at it a little bit before we got on the show here, I saw 147. My number is 116 on that game. But here's what I'll tell you. Boston hits Kikuchi well, and Toronto doesn't hit Evaldi well. So Evaldi's in a better spot here. I just don't want to pay the price. And Toronto can flip that switch anytime they want. And I still think that Boston's bullpen's not that great. So I think that's an interesting game. The other one is a great pitching matchup in the second game. Not that the first game is not going to be with San Francisco and the Mets. I mean, you got the first game is Cobb and McGill, and Cobb is plus 1.5 to 2 miles an hour on his fastball, so he's been doing really well. And Webb has just been unbelievable, a pitcher, and he gets Scherzer today. So two really great pitching matchups there. And I will tell you this about the Tampa Bay Chicago game. You see a new pitcher for Tampa Bay, but that's not really the case. Whistler is the listed pitcher to start the game, but he's an opener. So he's going to go 2 innings, and then you're going to see Fleming. And I will tell you this, Fleming is the worst Tampa Bay pitcher they have. So this Steele kid for Chicago has been pitching pretty well. So I don't really like that matchup today for Tampa Bay. So anyway, I thought those were some interesting matchups. And Atlanta and the Dodger game tonight, you got some 2 really good pitchers out there with Fried and Buehler. But I'm not stepping in front of the Dodgers again. Not the way they're playing on offense.
Great breakdown as always. Quickly in the NBA, Atlanta and Miami. I think it almost sets up like the Philly-Toronto game where Vegas says, "All right, you're not going to get us again." Toronto was the sexy play first game. Philly opened up at 7.5. They steamrolled them. Same thing as Atlanta, Miami here. They've put that number to 7.5. Vegas is saying that the ice tray will stay cold and the heat roll there. Kind of surprised here. Minnesota, Memphis. Everyone expecting big things from Memphis and a bounce back. Well, this opened at 7. It's now 6.5 across the Vegas Strip. People jumping on, or actually the casinos and the sports books saying, we'll take all the Memphis money. We're comfortable with Minnesota plus the 6.5. And then the Jedi mind tricks on New Orleans and Phoenix. They're leaving that right at 9.5. That 10 is a magical number, I always say, in the NBA. So Phoenix will win by 7 or 11 here. You watch how that goes. So Uh, Major League Baseball. Now, a couple things jumped out at me. Back in the day, you used to sit back, let the first game go on a doubleheader, and come back with the other team in the second game. It was almost like clockwork. And then, of course, because of the pandemic, we started with the 7 inning double headers, and that threw everything out of whack, I should say. But what really intrigues me is that Mad Max, opens up at minus 120, minus 121. When's the last time you saw Max at that low of a number? I can't remember.
Well, especially at home. I mean, Max on the road, because of the teams that he's played for with the Nationals and now the Mets. Like when he went out and they got to play the Dodgers or somebody, he's not going to be a favorite.
No.
But at the same time, at home, he's always going to be a favorite. But this is just so small of a favorite; it's unbelievable. But I will say it this way: that kid Webb is something else.
They're just like enticing you to take Max. I think they are. They're playing the Jedi mind tricks, and especially if the Giants were to win the game one. Now, McGill, this is after a rain out and the line hasn't moved. The Giants was the public trendy play yesterday, and now it's kind of stale. So keep an eye on that one. The Bieber number after a rain out, again, Keuchel versus Bieber. Again, I lean Bieber first 5 here, but again, the 135 I'm okay with. But again, Keuchel's one of those crafty guys where, he'll just be hanging around. They'll put balls in play. You could see what's the under over here. It's 7.5. So this could be one of those, 1-1, 2-2 games after 5 there. Okay. Now, St. Louis Wainwright, overnight number was 121. And what you said is 100% spot on. They released the number at 106, 108, and in comes the Miami money. So Lozado has been lights out. And again, I would favor them in the first 5 here. I'm not going to jump on a public trendy dog or a dog that has now become favorites. I will be watching that game. I'll be rooting the crap out of Miami, but currently I'm not going to follow the flip there. Cole, Yankees, minus 210. Good luck with it. Everyone will jump on Cole minus the half run, minus 130, first 5. Good luck there. Aiden in the second game with Gilbert for Arizona. No love there. Again, I think Scherzer is a trap, minus 120. As we spoke, it went down $1. I think they're begging for max money. They're not getting it from me. I would lean Webb, but again, I don't think you need to get involved in. Spot on, Scott. Evaldi and Kukuc. I think Evaldi and the Sox are the lean in the first 5, but I would be back in Toronto in the back end here. The Sox bullpen, other than Whitlock, has been struggling. So Whitlock should be ready to go, but I don't know if they will burn him here in this first game against Toronto. Correct on Burns. There's no way to really get into that game. Too steep. Cubs 6-4, Tampa 5-6. I will stay away. I was a big fan with Whistler with Atlanta when he came up. I just he never panned out. I'll be staying away there. Interesting with Sandoval and Valdez. I woke up yesterday morning I thought the Houston coming back home, the offense would wake up. After our show and everything, I just backed off and watched the game. Well, followed the game, and they did wake up. Why'd they wake up? Well, Alvarez, helps when Alvarez is playing and he hits 2 homers, So I'll back off there. Again, Chris Archer, a shell of himself against Kansas City. No, I will not be backing Archer at all this year until I see, a handful of games. I just can't do it. Gibson and Freeland. Phillies 4-7. Freeland, there was a stat out on social media last week. Like Freeland is on one of these runs when he pitches. The unders come in like clockwork. It was like 16-4 his last 20 or something. I don't know if you could maybe find that at some point today. Under overs 11.5. I lean the Phillies here. I would try to maybe get in that first 5 as well. I'll be talking more about that, obviously, on the closing bell. Cincinnati, San Diego, San Diego got me yesterday. I would lean, obviously, Musgrove here, first 5 minus the half run. Texas, Seattle. I told you I was going to be fade Ray till just to see how it goes. You're right. He does very well against Texas. I'll be staying away from there. Baltimore, Oakland players and staff. We talked about it on the Discord channel, and I said something. I have a group that I follow and talk to personally. COVID running rampant in Oakland, so I'm going to just stay away there. I smiled when you talked about Atlanta Dodgers because I got bit by them. Dodgers 8-2, Atlanta 5-7. I'll just say this for the last time today: the values with Fried. But with that said, Bueller, he's great at home. He's great. The opening actual overnight line was 160. The release line is 141. They're going to get some good two-way action there. But I would definitely lean again to go back and bite that apple. But you're right. When these Dodgers start rolling, it is kind of tough there to get in front of that. So I'm going to take a quick look at the hockey for you guys. Hockey right now, must win last night, Vegas. Must win, and they lose to the Devils. So you can basically put a fork in them. Minus 440, no thank you. Minus 200, no thank you. 270, no thank you. Minus 500. Scotty, your Tampa Bay Lightning against the Red Wings. God bless you. Panthers minus 200 at the Islanders. Bruins banged up against the Blues. If you guys have some props, and your book allows you to bet second period props, Blues over. If you get a minus a half goal, take the over. These guys score field goals and touchdowns in the second period there. Flames at the Preds. The Preds got us on Sunday. Kings, Ducks. Kings, this is interesting. It's, again, Kings. I would definitely lean the Kings here. The price is a little too steep. Maybe in regulation. I'd have to take a look at the puck line. You'd get a big number there, probably plus 190 there. Ottawa, Vancouver. I did talk about that to a handful of people. I did like them yesterday. They did win last night. Columbus, San Jose. I mean, there's really nothing there. Scotty, closing thoughts.
I think the closing thoughts are that baseball can wear you out, and we have seen it a million times, and I get it. We have fans that watch the game and they bet on the game, and then they get so enthralled and they want to talk about the gameplay and the action of the game, and they make comments and they on every single thing that happens. He swung at the first pitch and they just walked the first two guys, and he didn't hit behind the runner and move him up, and all that stuff. Let me just say this. That's not the way the game's played anymore. Nobody plays baseball the way you think they play baseball. So all of the thought processes that go through your head about moving runners and about the swing at the first pitch after they walk two guys or whatever, and he makes an out or something. Understand that, as Jeff says, the statistical nerds have gotten involved in the game, and they have made this a different game. Now, maybe it's to the betterment or maybe it's to the worst of actual gameplay on the field. But I will tell you that statistically, and I've written articles on it 2 or 3 times, there is no value to trying to move runners. There isn't. The better play is to swing the bat. If they were to have a better play to move runners, they would bunt. That's an easy way to move runners. They can't defend a bunt. Nobody can defend a bunt. Sure, you get out, but you get to move the runner. So all this gameplay minutia stuff you're getting involved in will wear you out, and it will make you not like the sport. So please, as you're watching these games and you're spouting off all these things through via Twitter or chat groups or wherever you're at, understand that that's not how it's done, and understand that the game has changed, and there's no point in having these discussions. So my thought is this: these are 162 games each team will play. So now you have 15 teams times 162 because they play each other. So you're going to have 1,000 more, or it's like 1,400, 18. I don't remember what the number is, something like that. I can do the math on the calculator real fast. Games, and if you watch them all, you're going to go bananas. You're going to pull your hair out. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to have no fun. It's not going to be exciting, and you're going to miss all the fun that baseball has to offer. Please don't do that. Please don't do that to yourself, and please don't try to do that to other people. Other people like the game. Other people want to participate and have a good time in viewing the game. But please understand that the point of baseball and how it works today is not the same as it used to be. And it's not better or worse. It's just the way it is. And statistics prove certain things. Otherwise, they would do others. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Whatever app that you use to follow these games, or like myself, I have the DirecTV package, so they're on, and while I'm doing the next day's work, and but the apps will show the current batting averages, and it's just abysmal. And as Scotty, I'm going to piggyback off of Scotty here. Back in the heyday, a good year for these guys was, you were aiming to bat 300. That was a great year. That was the hey, I batted 301 this year. You had a hell of a year. And well, that means, you got 3 hits out of every 10. So you failed 7 times out of 10. And then we had, the Tony Gwynns of the world, the Wade Boggs of the world, the Derek Jeters batting 330, 330, 340. Way back in the days, guys chasing that magical 400, George Brett and a few others. That's gone. Okay. And we're not even 2 weeks. We're almost at the 2-week mark. And I'm just looking at some of these batting averages, and it's such a small sample size. But as you know, you're looking at guys batting 81, 121. I was looking at Kyle Tucker, who I think had 2 homers in his first 2 games. He's batting like $118, and these guys are going to get better, but the game and the analytics, the nerds, like I like to say, have changed it, where strikeouts are okay, launch angle, home runs, and the number of balls that are actually put in play is minimal. It really, really is. And it's frustrating. And it's real frustrating if you are on the edge of your seat expecting the old style. It's not going to happen. I don't know if anyone watching and listening knows, but last year's MLB batting average for the league was 241 or 242. So just think about that for a second. The average was 241 or 242.
Hey, Jeff, it's 233 right now.
Correct. So there, exactly. So I'll take it back to last night where when the keys to success, I say, in a first 5 play is simple. Is you want to flip and get to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time, because now they have seen them twice. That's the key. And I'm going back to that Tampa game. We got to the top of the order. We were tied 2-2. We got Hendricks out. We had 1st and 3rd, 1 out with Randy Arozarena. What else could you ask for? We were put in a position to win. Hey, Randy, let's take a pitch or 2. Let's see what the guys got. Randy swings at the first pitch. Why did he swing? Because A, it's okay, and B, he thought that probably that's the best pitch he's going to see. He hits into a double play. Thanks for playing. So us old timers, gray hair, no hair, AOL. I still have my AOL somewhere hidden. The game has changed. So the only thing I would say is you got to take it with a grain of salt. There's 162 games, and shit happens. And yesterday was one of those days. And again, looking at today's menu, I think there's some opportunity. But again, will that continue? Will yesterday become today? I don't know. I mean, 3-0, 0-3. Who the hell knows? But it's baseball, and anyone wagering in the on the East, keep an eye on the weather. It's supposed to be better. I'm telling you, the wind's still 65, 70 here on the Cape. I'm about an hour from Boston, so I think they'll get the game in. I'm just going to be curious to see what the wind is there as well. So if it's blowing out, holy tamale! If it's blowing out, keep an eye on that under over there. So, all right. You can catch myself and Scott at 4:30 today for the closing bell. Any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up on EC Sports Invest on Twitter or Scott at Webby20MLB. Anyone interested in our Discord channel, you can send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. We will take care of you from there. Otherwise, if investing in wagering today, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up that phone. Why? There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We'd like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB. We wish everyone a blessed morning and afternoon, and we'll catch you right around 4:30 right here